I'm going to show you how to make a grid system on Construct 2. This will be very handy for making a classic arcade game that's kind of built on a grid, such as Pac-Man or any kind of game that uses a tile set. So I'm just going to create a new empty project. And basically, the first thing we want to do, if you click on, there's these two little arrows at the top right of your screen. It's called the pin ribbon. Kind of like Microsoft Word, they have a ribbon with all the different tools and whatnot. We want to go under View. And there's these two options, Snap to Grid and Show Grid. Okay? So basically what this will do is it'll create a grid that you can use to position things. And you can change that if you want 64 by 64, for instance. Okay, that will make the grid bigger. I think that's pretty good for now, I guess. So basically, if I make something, make a sprite, or if I was designing this in Photoshop or something, I could make this exactly 64 by 64. Okay, so that's exactly the same size as one of those things. Okay, and let's say this is my character, green square. Now, in order for this to snap to the grid properly, I need to set my origin point to the bottom left. Okay. Now, what will happen is, now when I drag it around, it's going to be perfectly in one of these boxes. Okay, so if I'm trying to construct a level, or, like I said, a Pac-Man maze or something, and I want to make sure that it's exactly set apart like this, okay, you can see I'm just holding Control and copying them. That's going to fill that grid perfectly. Okay, so depending on the kind of game you're making, this might be a pretty useful thing to do. Like, say, for instance, this is a maze. Okay, I'm just select that. Oh, there we go. Shift click to select multiple ones. Okay, I'm just going to create a character just for fun now. And let's make this, we'll make him 64 by 64 again. Okay, and let's make that, make the character blue. Okay, now in this case, I want to make the origin point 0 for my character, just so it'll turn around, but I'm going to give this guy, let's just say 8 direction behavior. Okay, and we're going to give this one solid behavior. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, it keeps popping up on my other screen. Okay, so I've got a very simple game here, but what's cool about it is the I can't quite fit through there. What's cool about this is that for building levels and whatnot, having this grid system is actually quite nice. And you don't have to snap your characters to the grid for the actual gameplay, but just as far as the game building, if you're going for a certain aesthetic, or if you're trying to build it a certain way, then you can do that. In this case, maybe I would make the character smaller, like 32 by 32. Let's try that now. Then it'll actually fit through. Oh, where'd my game go? Oh, here it is. Okay. And the grid's not going to show up in the game. It's just for reference. Okay, so that's kind of how you use a grid system in Construct 2. There's much more you can do with that, but I think that's kind of a neat thing to try.